What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in, all of you partners out there, all of you teammates, each and every one of you friends, maybe even, whoever you are, whatever you are, however you identify. I welcome you to the show and to the league. This is the Arena Sealed Gauntlet League Chaos 3 Week 3. This is it. We're wrapping it up. We're getting ready. We're getting near the end. A lot of people aren't making it. 4 teams will make it to the Mega Draft. Who are they? Where are they? Who am I? I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home, the Pride of Mardu. I am a 4-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I did very poorly in a team league. This might be the worst. This is the worst I've ever done in a league, hands down. Not since AFR have I seen my name so far down on a list. And we're not talking about it. We're being positive today. We're only celebrating the wins. We are not posting our L's, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and let's let the chaos begin.
Man, what are we, a team? No. We're a chemical mixture that makes chaos.
That's right. As I record, it's a day early. It's just working out that way. I'm off work a little early. I might be at work late tomorrow. Let's get this thing out there today. Let's see how it's going. It's 2:40 p.m. on Wednesday, the last week of Chaos Team League. This is your current top 4. Number 1, Magi of the Disc. Those are the Discers. Daniel G, Jordan M, Sawyer T. Been favorites all league. Still favorites going in to where they're going. They seem locked and loaded. And yeah, they're doing great. They're doing what they do. Next, Code Preacher. Look at this team. Justin P, Nick S, Richard K. You know what? Looking at it now, that's a powerhouse team. I don't know how I didn't notice this before. But Nick S has been having a great year. Richard K, Player of the Year. Justin, Justin's always doing good. Well, that's actually a great team. Doing very strong here in second place. Value Villagers, that's Edward T, Jamie C, and Wei C, Asayaka, 15 and 2. This one's kind of a surprise, I'm going to say, because I don't even know who some of these people are. And I mean, no offense by that. I'm sure you guys have been in leagues. I definitely know Wei. Wei's been on the show. And, man, they're up there 15 and 2. They're up there with Richard. Look at these guys getting their names known. Currently, looks like they could be in the top 8. But like I said, I'm a day early, and there's still a lot of stuff happening out there. And last but not least, Offenders at Large, Mitchell S, Spaghetti Mitch, Paul S, The Dragon, and Zach C, Zach Carr. Another powerhouse team. Oh my gosh. And right outside, we have currently the Lakers, who came on the show this week. I know you guys can get back in there. You got plenty of games left. Just go out there and get some wins. But yep, 4 teams, 12 players will make the Mega Draft. Then the teams will play each other until we have a winner. 2 teams play. Winners of those 2 matches play. And I'm excited to see that. We don't see a lot of team drafting. It's a fun thing. It's different. It's interesting. It's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see how it all happens. But that's Team League. We're in Chaos 3. We're wrapping this thing up. And I can't wait to see who gets there, who goes all the way. We've got a couple more games left to play. We're currently 8 and 12. We've played 2 games this week. I've played a game. Chris has played a game. We've both gotten a loss. We're going to try and get some games in tonight, I think. I think we're trying to go out swinging. Maybe if we get a couple wins on the way out, I mean, we raise up. There's ain't nowhere to go but up right now for us. So we're going to hope to get a couple of those games in. And I hope you're doing it. I hope you're enjoying Team League. I hope you're enjoying the chaos. I hope you're enjoying the rotos that we just did for Outlaws at Thunder Junction. And I hope you're enjoying the new set, Outlaws at Thunder Junction. It's out. I've done 1 draft. I'm currently doing a sealed. It's cool. It's great. So far I like it. Early, we're not going to talk about it too much because next week is going to be the Outlaws at Thunder Junction kickoff show. We're going to get real deep into it. But just to lightly touch on it this week, because it just came out yesterday. It's hot. It's fresh. Everyone's playing it. It seems really cool. I think it seems really fun. High power level, which I like. I like playing in a high power level. Hard to tell if it's going to be like real aggressive or not yet. Still pretty early. I can definitely tell you it's bomby. There's so many rares, and all these rares are so good. Someone played a 5-5 trample for 4 against me yesterday. Oh, it has flying too. 5-5 flying trample for 4 mana. What? That it didn't even have any other abilities. You play against this Jasper card yet? Jasper just draws like 3 to 5 cards a turn off your library. Not only is it decking you, but it's filling your opponent's hand. They don't even have to attack. They're pushed. Hashtag pushed. I don't know if removal is what you want, if you just want to be faster, if you just want to open bigger bombs. And frankly, I don't even know what those bombs are. I'm still seeing a lot of new cards as I play. But I'm excited to get my drafts in, get my reps in. I'm excited to do my Roto games. I think my Roto went really well after seeing what I'm seeing. But yeah, I have high hopes. High hopes for Outlaws at Thunder Junction set, and high hopes for the Outlaws of Thunder Junction League, which is going to be, the rules are up. We're going to get way into it next week, but, quick overview. There is a market, a little market where you can go and buy packs with prices that are changing constantly. There are bounties for the top 16, extra money for your packs if you can take down a top 16 player. There are bets. You can do some betting with some of your money on the feature matches, try and win a little extra money. And there are stips. Stips are back. Each week they're going to roll a random stip. If you want to do a duel, aka a stip match, there will be a separate queue. And you win those, I believe you also get a little bit of extra money. But again, we'll get real deep into those rules and the set and everything next week. This week, it's all about chaos. It's all about teamwork. It's all about friendship, coming together, winning and losing as a team. And I had a team on this week that they were winning. I had a team on this week that a bunch of people that have been on the show before, people that I would like to say I'm friendly with, and a team that I'm rooting for, the Lakers. Let's go ahead and let's see if teamwork can still make the dream work.
Teamwork is dream work. We play together, run, pass, and score. Make friends forever.
That's right. I had on Emmett F. Sepulcher, Eric S. Smitty, not Smite. I got it in there, Eric. I told Eric, during our interview, I didn't do my Smitty Smite bit. And he said, you'll get it in there in the intro. And I did. Smitty Smite. Eric can never escape it. And last but not least, Miranda L., the great watcher. I almost said the great canary. Miranda L., the great canary. That would not make sense. Miranda L., the great watcher. Currently outside the top 4. They were in the top 4 when I interviewed them, which means they're playing for their lives right now. They are a team to watch. They've been knocked out. They're, like they said on the show, as they say later, they are hungry for it. I know they've got a few more games to get in, and I know they are not going to be giving up easily. So let's go ahead and let's listen to my interview with the Lakers right now. All right, everyone, join me this week as we figure out how teamwork makes the dream work with none other than the Lakers. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, John.
Hey, for those who don't know, that is Emmett, Maranda, and Eric. And let's try to stick to that order when I ask a question. I forgot to cover that up top. But yeah, when I ask a question, we'll go Emmett, Maranda, Eric. That way we know what we're doing. It's not going to mess anything up. What made you guys want to be the Lakers? What was the decision behind that?
So it was my idea initially. I was trying to come up with something, kind of off the wall, and Miranda and me to a lesser extent are not that big into sports. We went to University of Oklahoma, big sports school.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought it would just be kind of funny to lean into we debated if we want to go LA Lakers or just the Lakers. I really fully, explain the bit as it were, but
Because of course we can't be Team Texas like we were gonna be. And my first thought was to just name ourselves the Thruple, but I didn't want to confuse people. So Emmett suggested the Lakers, and it just caught me off guard and was so funny when I saw it written out, and I thought it would look really funny on the standings with all the Magic jokes to just have the Lakers.
That's great. The Lakers. I love it. I think it's so funny. I was curious where it came from.
yeah.
So you guys, we're in Team League, Chaos Team League. This is the last week of Chaos Team League, week 3. You're doing well. You're currently, at least I believe, in the top four. You were the last time I checked.
Yep, we're second at 12-6, start of the week right now.
Ooh, 12-6 is a great record to be. That's a great place to be right
Very
now.
thankful. All I wanted was 10 wins for going out of week 2, so I was very, very happy.
Sounds
Yep.
like it's going well. How are you guys? First of all, let's just start off basic. How's it going? Seems like it's going great, but how are you guys managing it? How are you splitting the pools? How are you figuring out who plays what? How are the extra packs? How are you managing that? Is that a consideration in deck building? I'd love to know. And let's start with you, Emmett.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say, at the risk of giving away tactical information, the first 2 weeks we tried to make as close to evenly powered decks as possible. We wanted all 3 people to be able to do well. I know there was some discussion early on of some people like, oh, do you just make 2 great decks and then let a weak deck play like 2 games and hope it doesn't hurt you that bad? But, with the way our pools worked out, I don't think we had particularly great pools. At least we had very few outright individual bombs. But I think our card quality was all right. And we were able to split things up. Like, we basically always ran 2-color decks. So that means splitting one of the colors, trying to find, what color do you split? Like, oh, if we go with this, does that make this deck better? And thankfully, we were able to do enough testing to be like, oh, our initial thought this week was red, white, aggro, and it's just not coming together. Let's pivot to other decks based on that experience. And I'll let Miranda expand on that as well. I don't want to dominate the speaking time.
No, that's great because I think that's something my team is lacking. It's all the testing. It sounds like you guys are really figuring out which decks to
So
play.
when we first get our pool, we'll hop on a voice call all together, brainstorm initial thoughts, what looks good, what doesn't, what we might split into, what we might avoid. Like sometimes there's very obvious best deck, but it doesn't really leave good things for the other decks, or like, yes, these 2 colors are leftover, but they don't really pair well together. So like balancing what split makes the most sense. And so we do a couple different splits and then play test all of them a little bit until one of them feels right. And then we really play test those decks. And then have, for as far as which deck to give each person, tends to just be like based on play style. Of like a aggro deck versus a control deck and who likes to play what. Emmett and I love green decks. We gave Emmett the control deck last week. Probably wasn't the correct call, but we were trying to do it because it was our deck that was most likely to be able to get a win without any packs, because he didn't have any packs at the time. So we did a little bit of strategic splitting based on who was getting what amount of packs, which we really leaned into this week, and we'll see how that sort of plays out.
Well, that sounds great. Eric, you got anything to add about the deck building and play testing of your pools?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about giving away information on this pod because this is coming out on Thursday.
Yeah, it comes out Thursday.
Hopefully we're done playing by then.
Yeah, it should be good. Feel free to give away our trade secrets.
No, it's been really good. Like, I love that everybody on our team likes to play test. So we run a ton of practice matches, and everybody's always on board to run a practice. So it does filter out bad decks pretty quickly. I've been pretty lucky to be paired with these two, I think, because Emmett comes up with some pretty good decks right off the hop, and then it's just tweaking from there usually. So yeah, it's been good. It's been easy. It's felt like it's been easy, but the track pools we've had made it harder, that's for sure.
Yeah, our pools have not been easy, but I feel we did a great job. And like in week 1, we really thought our red white aggro deck was going to be good, and then we tried it a couple times and we're like, and then we tried red blue and it made so much more sense. Like we're very willing to pivot if stuff doesn't work out, which I think is really good.
Oh, go ahead.
In case anyone's wondering why we have Eric on our team instead of perhaps Dan, Bob had, back in the last team league, asked Dan to be his partner in the next league, assuming it was going to be a 2-person league and me and Emmett would be partners.
Sure.
And so then when it came up that this league was going to be 3 people, Bob came knocking to Dan's door and he couldn't say no. So we started brainstorming people who wouldn't already have a team that we trusted, and Eric and I became good friends from Cons League, where we were both abs and strong.
Nice.
And so I thought he would be a good fit of someone who likes to deck build and play test, and I think he's really vibed very well with me and Emmett.
I think
Very fortunate our schedules line up pretty well too.
oh, that's so huge. Like the
It's
schedule is
big.
lining up.
One last thing on the team dynamic. It's been great as well because I think we're both very good as pilots, but then also as supporting people of, being able to answer questions about the other person's pool
Mhm.
and trying to make decisions while our opponent's clock is ticking and not our own.
Ooh, that's smart.
Because in the past when we've played with Dan, our styles are just a little too different, I think, to easily mesh.
Mhm.
But we've been
And Dan likes a very slow game value, and we're kind of tempo aggro focused, and I think Eric fits really well with that. So we haven't had too many time issues or anything, which is big.
Another thing that I think is so important with playtesting, specifically in this league, is because it's chaos. It's a lot of cards that you're just not that used to. Like I know my team at least once every week, I've been like, "What does that card do?" And they'll tell me, and I'll go, "That's not what it does." Or like they'll be like, "You need to do this." I'm like, "My card doesn't do that." Like, or like we're just not super familiar with what these cards do sometimes, and it definitely like playtesting fixes that aspect because you run into those scenarios and
We
you
were playtesting this week, and Eric goes, "So I've never mutated something before. Does it matter if it goes on top or bottom?" And I went, "This is Archipelago mutating on a 1/3 flyer. It's deeply important
it's very, very important that goes on top.
which way you put it. But if you've never done that before, how could you know, right? Mutate's
Yeah.
such a weird mechanic, especially on Arena.
Yeah, if it just says top or bottom, you're like, I don't know what
I
that
don't know, who
means.
cares?
I said it as I was casting it, and then Arena made it very clear.
Yeah, Arena does pop up and
You're
show
right.
you what it's gonna look like, but
Okay,
like
good.
there's some chance if you've never done mutate, you don't know if it'll keep flying if you do it that way or whatnot. Like it's a very good question to ask, but it's like, oh, thank God we're testing.
Yeah, this is a league where I think playtesting is super important, and it's paying off for you guys in spades.
It is hard to come by though. Everybody's very secretive this league. Very few people streaming.
I don't know what that's about. I think people have their side servers. I know my team has streamed. We've streamed every game in the server.
And
but
I
yeah.
am thankful for that.
But yeah, it is. That's also just a team league thing, right? Every team league, people get a little bit more secretive and a little bit more sneaky with what they're doing. Everyone has their super secret strategy of like, well, of whatever. Everyone's got their idea of how to spike it, but no one wants to share their idea. So who knows
It is
who's
very
right?
fun that our little server just I have the Lakers logo on it.
So that is KS again. I wish you guys well the rest of the way. I hope you make the top 8. It would be, I mean, because if you get a top 8 and you guys win, you would all be first time winners. What a huge thing that would be. I'd love,
And
I'm
we could
rooting for that.
finally represent the one couple in a team league.
Oh my gosh.
My
So
dream.
I'm rooting for you guys to go all the way, but you got a tough route with those Discers. It's hard to not look at them and think of them as some kind of favorite.
We were so close to getting our last win of last week to surpass them for first.
Oh,
We lost by 1 life, and we would have been beating them on OMW to be first.
I guess, do you want to be set? I don't know how the mega draft
Oh
works.
yeah, I guess I don't know how the semifinals work.
Yeah, like, do you want to be second so you
I
don't
think
have to play them?
I think it might be first and fourth and second and third.
I would guess that's what I would guess, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? But yeah, maybe that, not to say that like that's a strategy you can even do anything with, but something to think about.
Mhm.
Well, I know you guys have been doing pre-releases. OTJ is coming out. It's big. I finally got a pre-release in yesterday. It's been the talk of the server. Everyone's switching their picture to cowboy hats. You guys are doing a great job with that. You got me on board. I love it. I'm hyped. I'm here for it. I'd like to know what do you guys think about OTJ Outlaws at Thunder Junction? Any hot takes on the set? Any big opinions coming off the pre-release weekend before we get it on Arena and the league?
Speaking for myself, I felt like at our local shop, which did do a very fun saloon event for the evening Friday pre-release, where
Cool.
Everyone wore hats. You could get a little photo taken to use as a mercenary token. They provided some beers from a local brewery and all this and some snacks and stuff. So it was a fun experience. And it seemed like almost everybody, and especially almost everybody who did well, was playing green something. And some people on the server seemed to share that experience, and some definitely did not. So I'll be curious to see how that shakes out when people play the format a bit more.
Hmm.
But a lot, like basically all of the green rares and mythics were very hard to answer when they hit the board on either side.
I saw people saying that, and I was like, oh, my roto draft went great apparently. Because I picked green, and I can't wait to play my game. Every card everyone says like this card was busted. I'm like, I picked that in roto. I feel good.
Mhm.
I did first pick Oko, a new Oko in Roto, and I did get to ultimate him at pre-release. And it was
Ooh,
pretty good.
is he good? I don't know much about new Oko.
He's fine. He's certainly no old Oko. He
Okay.
costs 4 whole mana.
Boo. Does he make? He still
But-
makes elks though, doesn't he?
He
makes
does
them.
make elks, but he doesn't commit a crime.
Oh boy.
He just draws your cards and makes elks for no particular reason. But his ult's pretty good and easy to get to. I do think it's go green or go home.
Ooh, I
Especially
love
in
it.
League. I think absolutely everyone by the end of the league is going to be a green base. I don't know how you could not be. Because it feels like they really tried to slow down aggro in this of like, I heard they made a conscious decision to make the mercenary tokens able to block. They originally weren't able to block, kind of like rats. But they purposefully made them able to sort of slow down decks. There's not as much of the red-white aggro like in MKM. They can like really get you early.
I noticed
think-
there's also just like a bunch of incidental life gain, especially in white.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like everything. I was like, I'm gonna kill this and gain some life, and I'm gonna do this, and I got some
Absolutely.
gain in life. Like,
And just like MKM, I assume it'll be better in draft than in sealed because that's what they're designing for nowadays. So I'm sure it'll be fun to draft, but it does feel like it's going to be a bomb dominated format.
yeah, it was. I know I played against the sword myself yesterday, and things were going great till that sword came down, and then
Yeah.
things weren't going. All my removal looked real bad.
In my second pre-release, I was excited to open the mythic red horse that copies things.
Oh, nice.
And I forced Annie joins up into my deck to get double triggers, which I pulled off once to get 4 copies.
Oh my gosh.
But it turns out the horse, while good, was not as good as Great Train Heist, which got me all of my wins the turn I cast it.
Oh, is that's like the extra combat stat one?
Yes, +1
Yeah.
first strike and an extra combat for like
Ugh.
6 mana. And it's
Gross.
like, okay, you blocked, I killed all your stuff and then killed you, and you had a lot of life, and I just had like some tutus, but you know, an extra combat goes a long way.
Yeah, extra combat is and first strike too. It's like it's a lot of times you block through that first combat, you trade off a bunch of stuff. Second combat's not that bad. First strike though, ugh, gross. You do any pre-release in Eric? You get a roto draft or anything? You got a sense of what's to come?
I skipped the roto draft this time, but I did go to a pre-release this weekend. It's interesting to hear what you said there, Miranda, about with the mercenary tokens. Like, I'm glad they did make them able to block, because then it actually gives you a decision point of whether you're going to tap them to pump another creature or not. Like, if they're unable to block, if you're unable to hold them back to block, you'd just be pumping every turn, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I played green as well, green blue, and I felt like a lot of the green cards just had, just really good value attached to them, and they have so much fixing in them. I think Miranda's probably going to be right. By the end of the league, everybody's going to have some base green to be able to just play all their bombs in every color.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't know exactly how it's gonna go, but you know, it looks like a fun, powerful. It looks like a fun set. I had fun, and I think it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, I was impressed by the signpost black red at knife point.
Mm-hmm.
The one that gives all outlaws first strike, and every time you commit a crime, you make a
I had an
mercenary.
opponent play 2 of those against me in
Oh my
the
God.
finals for 3-0. With the
Oh my God.
Marchesa seemed quite good there.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
with that signpost, I think that could be a pretty good deck. But we'll see. Should be fun.
We'll see how it goes. And we're not getting only OTJ, so we got to mix it up with a little bit of chaos. There's not going to be all mercenary tokens all the time. We're going to have to figure it out, at least when it comes to League. Yeah, powerful I don't know what's in a play booster anymore. You know, I open these cards, I open these packs, and I'm like, I don't know what list this was in, but the art's cool. And there's just so much stuff in these packs that's like, oh my gosh.
We
Just,
had a friend come visit this
uh-huh.
weekend and go to the pre-release with us, and he hasn't played in a couple of sets, and trying to explain play boosters to him was a nightmare.
It's so confusing. I mean, I'm happy to open, more rares, more money, whatever. I'm happy to have it, but it's just I just don't know what to expect. You know, you get those. I had a pack that had like two mythics and a rare, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Speaking of Outlaws of Thunder Junction, are there any things you specifically hope to get in your league pool, either a card or interaction or fun little combo that you just want to make happen?
Arrow of the Peaks was absurd, and I had it in my first one, and just like it would turn around the game so fast. Like I could get way behind, but then also like with plot supporting it, there's just so many.
Oh
It
yeah.
was so good when it first came out, and it's even better now, even like despite Magic having, maybe gotten a little stronger on average, just because of the support it has.
Yeah, when you can cast something for free the same turn you cast that. Ooh, that sounds gross. Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that because I didn't see much plot. I saw a couple of things plotted. Most of them were the ones that like did a thing when they got plotted, and those all seemed great. Um, but yeah, I think plot is gonna be it adds a fun push and pull of like when do you do it, when do you plot it, do you just run it out? I think it's neat. I like a lot of these mechanics.
I think it also like instantly incentivizes attacking because if you're on the offensive enough that you can be like, yeah, I don't need this guy to block this turn, I'll plot him and then I'll make this 3/3 or 5/5 instead,
Yeah.
exchange for losing one turn of blocking. Like if you can put yourself in that position, you can get the extra value from plotting.
Yes, and there's so much value to be had in Outlaws at Thunder Junction. What about you, Miranda?
I'll take one of the like 5 old Okos that are gonna get with it. Thanks.
I want one, so I want two. I,
Easy.
I I already am having dreams that my starting pool has two Okos in it, and I go like 25 and 5. It's gonna be great.
I'll just have both Okos on the field at the same time, and my opponent will concede. It's
Oh
that
my
easy.
gosh. I had Oko in Eldraine League, and it was like it's just not fun. When you play
As
it out of
bad as you
three,
remember,
oh
like
yeah, it is. It really is as bad. I still can't believe they put it in. Like it doesn't make sense to me
there's
why it's in the
just
set.
no reason for it. We got a new one. You didn't
Yeah.
get the old one.
What happened to like? Didn't they just say we're going to one Planeswalker a set? There's
Well,
three in this
they
set.
they did, but then Old Oak is part of the bonus sheet, and then the Jace was supposed to be a part of the
Oh,
aftermath
Jace's
set.
Aftermath. I didn't know that.
Yes, they got
Uh,
thrown in.
I still don't think the Oko should be on the bonus. Like, I don't know what it's
Definitely not.
adding. I don't
There's
get it.
no reason for it. It's not fun. No one wants it.
It's literally like illegal in every format but limited, and it's not fun in limited.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they don't staple also kill a planeswalker on all the good removal anymore, which they started
Exactly.
doing because they stopped putting as many planeswalkers.
Exactly. So you put in the strongest planeswalker that has like no way to deal with it. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I'm looking forward to opening up as many of those as I can. What about you, Eric? What do you want?
I'll take one of my favorite cards I had at my pre-release, the Stoic Sphinx, the 5/3
Mhm.
flash flying
Mhm.
for
Ooh,
two
nice.
That's gonna win
blue.
a lot of games.
Yeah, because like it's hexproof whenever you don't cast a spell on your turn.
Hmm.
So once it comes down, you can just not cast anything until your opponent's tapped out, and it just immediately puts a clock on them. So it
Nice.
was it was pretty good for me. I'd like to play with it some more.
Mhm.
Sounds great. A card that I had, two cards that like overperformed for me in pre-release. Um, I had Free Strider Lookout, which is 2 and a green, and whenever you commit a crime, you look at the top 5 cards. If you can find a land, you put it on the battlefield tapped.
Mhm.
That thing was just like I was committing so many crimes and like just like ramping so hard with it. It seemed like as far as like a green go big land deck, that thing was awesome. And the 4/3 Pegasus, the uncommon ETB, return a creature 3 or less, convert mana cost to your hand. That thing was awesome. And I had back for more, so I would like play it, get something back, it would die, I'd back for more, it kill something, get something else back. It was just like Value City. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I had an interesting judge call with back for more on if I could use the not dead trick in between the creature coming back to the battlefield and then
Uh-huh.
actually fighting the other creature. It
Ooh.
was initially ruled that I could not, but then he followed up with me at the next pre-release to be like, oh, actually, it is like a what's the term, a reflexive trigger or something, or there is maybe a window where you can interact. I guess I'll see for sure when it comes to Arena, but maybe
There,
could have gotten a little bit of an extra trick there.
I am also excited to see what happens when this comes to Arena because I had a lot of weird rules questions during this set where like I would go to kill something and they would snakeskin veil it. And it's like, well, did I commit a crime? Because I targeted it, but you're fizzling my spell. And we like I think we said they didn't, but we didn't ask a judge. That was just us talking. But I
I
was
would
like,
think that would be committing a crime.
I think it
And
is.
just the act of targeting.
Yeah.
But there's so many weird like interactions and like things that I'm like, I don't know. It's all very complicated. I needed an arena, so it just does it for me.
It did feel more overwhelming than other recent sets, even though the wordiness and complexity creep is nothing new.
Yeah, it doesn't seem the cards don't at face value don't look crazy. But then when you start thinking of like magic interactions and things, it's like, oh, wait a minute, like what's happening?
I don't think this set will be onboarding very many new players. That's for sure.
No.
The league had a lot of great questions for you guys, the Lakers, and I can't wait to get to them all with you. Our first question comes from Richard K, aka Preacher, and he's been doing these great food and also team related questions this league. He's really got a niche. Same Lake.
I've been liking his style.
He's me too. He's on. He's also always the first one to get a question in. I appreciate it. Same lake related question for each of you. Ideal meal for a lakeside picnic. What a great question. We'll start with Emmett.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna go classic here. Just like, some cheese and wine, just a classy little affair. Uh, I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily think I would need or want a full meal, out at the park. So I'd go for, something light and decadent.
Oh, I love it. I think it's a great answer. What about you, Miranda?
I think living in Texas, the cheese and wine gets hot too fast. I'm more of a classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich kind of girl. I think it keeps well. I think the real way to do it is have a little grill and just have like hot dogs.
Oh, that sounds
When you're at a
good.
lake, I think hot dogs and chips are really satisfying.
Yeah, make it a nice little cookout. Yeah, that does sound great. What about you, Eric? They got lakes up there in Canada. You must have picnics.
Yeah, we actually got a community lake in our neighborhood here. So we go to the beach quite a bit in the summer, and like sometimes we'll just after the kids are done at camp or when we're done work, we'll just head to the beach and do dinner there quite a bit. Like, and sometimes actually quite often I do just bring my camping grill and set it up on the picnic table and make some hot dogs while the kids are swimming. And sometimes we'll pick up a pizza on our way there and just have some Domino's on the beach and then go play. And yeah, so either the grill or the pizza, they're both great.
I love it. What great answers. Our next question comes from Jordan M. JM Tron. If the three of you were contestants on Game Changer, and I did not look this up, I don't know what that is, so I'll need an explanation. He knows Emmett and Miranda are fans. Which episode would you want to be in, and who would win? Emmett, explain what this is about.
Yeah, are you familiar with College Humor?
Yeah,
Sort of
yeah.
medium group. So they were owned by a major media conglomerate that at one point just decided they weren't worth it and stopped paying them, and they just had to spin off. And then the head of the thing took them like private into their own company, which is now called Dropout, kind of a spin on the College Humor thing. And they produce a lot of their own shows with the same comedians, and Miranda and I are big fans of a lot of them. And one of those is Game Changer, hosted by the head guy himself, and he does a lot of spins and takes on classic game shows and comes up with his own ideas. And the conceit is that the contestants come on not knowing what the game is going to be. And sometimes there's more or less mystery in trying to figure out what it is they're doing and how they're going to earn points and different things. And sometimes it's very obvious either a riff on something classic that you can pick up on pretty quick, and other times it's more niche or unusual. But he's always bringing on, funny people and doing stuff. And Wham and I have an answer, so we can explain our conceit to that. But
So there's a lot of classic episodes, like they had like a Survivor version. They do one where they like sing different karaoke songs that are made up song titles.
Oh, cool.
so they have someone improvising on the keyboard playing it,
And
then the
people
people are
improvising the
improvising singing.
Oh my gosh.
which is very impressive. The episode Emma and I think would actually be the most fun, though, was one of the recent episodes, and it was called Second Place. And there's 3 contestants, and they didn't know at first, but basically the goal of all of the prompts was to be in the middle. You wanted to be the middle option. You wanted to get second place in
Interesting.
whatever it was. So it would be like, give the host a compliment, and you would want him, they would each give a compliment, and whoever gave the middling compliment, he would choose as the winner for the round and would get a point. So
Sounds
it's
great.
a very strategic game of you want to do well, but you want to do less well than the best person. And so it's a big meta game of trying to be second best, which we think is a very fun spin on trying to win and has a lot of gaming you can do to it,
Yeah.
which I think we're very good at.
That's a really fun twist to throw in there. Everyone wants to win, but if winning isn't how you win, how do you
Exactly.
win?
So there was a fun variety of like hit a gong and make, the second loudest sound, but they didn't know that going in, or a mix of like physical challenges. There was a little bit of a pie eating contest. There was like doing push-ups. At the end, there was partner tasks. So then it's like, wait, do I care more about me doing well, my partner doing poorly, but also doing well as getting second?
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
then, of course, the big question as they were coming up at the end of the game is the person with the most points from getting second the most the winner, or is the person with the second most points from getting
Yeah.
second the most the winner?
And
Ooh.
naturally, the person with the second most points got a
Yeah.
second place medal and was crowned the winner.
That's so funny. A second place and the winner.
Mhm.
And they were the person who had sort of slightly as a bit been like, I refuse to do less than my best and will not bow to the
Oh, so
dictating of the system.
And they still get
Finished in
his
second, which then resulted in them winning the game.
And so they put him up on a pedestal that said 2 and gave him flowers and
That's
celebrated that he got second, which he hated every second of. Which was sort of the whole conceit of the episode, was to mess with this guy who's like a perfectionist.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Which one of you would win?
Well, I would get the most points. I would not be crowned the winner.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got a pretty versatile skill set, and I do really love thinking about game design and incentive, like the incentive structure of different systems. So
Whereas I would overthink and I would overshoot or undershoot, I think.
Yeah, I think I would too. I would be trying to game it too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, any opinion on this, Eric? You ever heard of this show? You have any idea what we're talking about? Because I don't. So it's
I
fine.
actually hadn't heard of the show either, and it sounds awesome. I didn't realize it was the College Humor guys. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, we
Oh.
highly recommend Dropout. They have a lot of hilarious shows, including one called Actually, which is a nerdy
I've heard of that.
game.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have the board game of that one.
Is this YouTube or is Dropout like a
no,
website?
it's their own subscription service. It's $5 a month, but I think it's a ton of value. They have a very popular D&D show on there as well,
Ooh, nice.
and then a variety of these, different shows hosted by all the different, College Humor. They sort of have a core cast group, and then they bring in all sorts of other people.
Well, we got a D&D question coming up, so I hope you guys are prepared for that one. Our next question comes from Jack H. Racket, guest on the show last week, new league committee member. He would like to know, favorite artifact with a color identity? What an interesting question.
Absolutely. I'll start us off. I gotta go Great Henge.
Ooh,
I
that's a
love-
good one.
I love big green creatures. It's kind of nice in that you can play it in really high power cubes, and it's very good, but it's not totally dominant in lower power limited environments necessarily, because it can be hard to hit that threshold where it gets cheap enough to, cast.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Definitely.
a nice little bit of slight self-balancing there. Obviously, if it hits the board in, whatever set it was pointed in, you were doing pretty good, but it's not
Eldraine.
total,
OG Eldraine.
yeah, not totally going to run away with the game if you can't keep creatures on the board to get it down. So
Yeah, that's a fun one. The worst case scenario, it's gaining you 2 life a turn, right? Oh, what a great card. What about you, Miranda?
In a similar vein, the first thing that came to my mind and stuck with me was, are there any green artifacts? Because I'm normally an artifact hater. So, and immediately I remembered Tough Cookie exists,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I love him.
I've been seeing a lot of him in the Remax artifact
Mhm.
drafts that are going on right now. That card's just so good.
His own little engine has to be answered, especially in like the artifact remix.
Yeah.
Like,
Once you get to enough mana and enough food, boy, that thing just takes over.
love that guy.
Yeah, that guy's great. What about you, Eric?
Uh, just gonna go with the first one that came to mind when I tried to think about a colored artifact, and it's Cryptic Coat from Karlamanon.
Ooh, talk about a card that I lost a ton of games to. That's a great card. That's a good one.
Good pick.
Yeah, Cryptic Coat, man. Oh, gone but not forgotten. Cryptic Coat. I will always be happy to open that in any format ever. I think. Our next question comes from Jeremy, aka Lord Goyf. Can you come up with the next Magic plane that's even more ridiculous than Cowboys? And you get a 30-second backstory. We'll start with you, Emmett.
Yeah, so my thought is I was trying to come up with things. I had some like TV related ideas,
Ooh, cool.
like game show, reality TV, or like cooking show, because I think there's some very fun
Ooh.
challenge, like, a cutthroat kitchen style thing.
Uh-huh.
And one step farther, when I was looking into, video games I enjoy for one of the upcoming questions, I remember I played this game called Battle Chef Brigade, which is a split between a cooking, like you have to go and do like a little side scrolly fight monsters to get ingredients and then take those back into the kitchen and cook them. And it's all on like the same clock.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, what if there was like a whole plane and there's already beloved Magic characters, as Maranda
Mm-hmm.
the chef guy. Like there's some very popular commanders, Rocco, around making food. And so
Mm-hmm.
you could just have a whole plane of like gourmet ingredient animals and eating them and cooking them. And then maybe you get a little bit of the cooking TV show element, and I don't know.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, I'm already like thinking like, oh, you got Dockside Chef. Any cleaver could be in there. Food tokens for sure. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Miranda, what kind of weird plane are you coming up with?
So mine's way stupider. I've been
What's the
having I've been having a problem where when someone asks me, "Oh, what plane or like what's the theme of this set?" Because the last one was a murder mystery. They're like, "Oh, what's this set?" Instead of just saying cowboys, I keep wanting to say cowboys and aliens, which doesn't make any sense in the context of Magic, which has multiple planes with very different creatures on all the planes.
They're all aliens. You could say that.
They're
That's
all
fair.
aliens. They're all from different dimensions, including like Loot, the little guy we got from the vault on this plane.
Mhm.
So it's basically the exact same as Thunder Junction, except anyone that's not a human is a very generic green alien from like an 80s TV.
I
or
love it.
movie. And just looks really stupid and out of place. And like all the cards, all the cactuses look like they're cardboard cutouts.
Ooh,
Like
I
it
like
all
that.
looks really fake.
Ooh, I like that aspect of it. Everything. Oh, I get it. Cool. I like it. So, I think that actually the cardboard cutout.
And instead
you
of
made
the
it work.
cool laser guns they have the really stupid looking laser guns with like the circles.
Marvin Martian.
Yeah, the Marvin Martian ray gun is what everyone has.
Oh, boy, that sounds fun. I like that idea.
Basically the unset of this set.
Yeah, unset, cowboy unset. What about you, Eric? What's your weird, wacky plane?
Well, I was having trouble coming up with like a fully fleshed out idea for this question, but listening to you guys talk and how many times you said plane, I think I would go with an airport plane.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Great call.
Everything would be based around an airport. There'd be multiple planes in the set.
Oh my
There-
gosh.
So
There'd
many
be baggage
vehicles
handlers,
that are
there'd be
planes.
passengers.
I already see it. There's a card called
Waiting in line, being late, delay.
yeah, flight delay. Put 3 stun counters on a creature. It doesn't understand.
Couple of Naga creatures just for the jokes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you have like fancy rare lands that could be like,
Everything
luxury suite.
flies.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Your
I mean, there's so
bucket
many
bust.
puns. So
We
many
do.
puns. All right. I love it. Our next question comes from Evan C. Peas of Crab. I love this question. I think this is super interesting. Favorite trilogy? We are in three-person team league. What is each of your favorite trilogies? Emmett, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Um, I was trying to think of movies, and it's hard to think of things that are just a trilogy.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was looking in the world of video games, where it's in some cases more clear, in some cases less clear when a game is numbered, which actual number it is.
Kingdom
Um,
Hearts 3. Uh,
21st game in the series or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so a couple of these are maybe slight slants, but I figured I'd just shout out some of my favorite kind of trilogy video game series. I love XCOM. Um,
Okay.
the modern reboot had one, two, and then you could either count the little spin-off Chimera Squad, or you could just count Enemy Within as a thing as the third one, maybe. A little more of a deep cut. I love Supreme Commander, which is a real-time strategy game, which had Supreme Commander 1, which I bought at the Scholastic Book Fair way back in I don't know, sixth grade or something in middle school.
Uh-huh.
And then there was Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, a long break, and then they came out with Supreme Commander 2, which was dumbed down in many ways, but I still enjoyed it. Um, I could shout out the Batman Arkham games. There was kind of four. The fourth one was kind of bad, but not as bad, I think, as many people said it was.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, I love The Witcher 3, but never played the first two, so don't really know how well that one counts. But that's sort of where my thoughts were. I don't have a great, like, definitely a trilogy answer to that one, but those were my thoughts.
Oh, great. Thank you. And I haven't heard of a few of those games, so that's really exciting. I love getting hearing about new things on the show. What about you, Miranda?
Nothing new here. Unfortunately, mine is just the original Batman trilogy.
Okay, so when you say original Batman
Uh,
trilogy, uh,
I guess the more recent Batman trilogy.
the
The Dark
Nolan, yeah,
Yeah, The Dark Knight.
Christian Bale, because you could be talking to what,
It's
Tim
true.
Burton made two, but
Which I do like, to be clear, but I think the big Batman trilogy was just such a package as a actual grouping. In a way, I wouldn't qualify a lot of even things that are sets of three.
no, yeah, it's hard to do a good trilogy, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
hard, and those Batman movies are great. Eric, do you have a trilogy that you just hold near and dear?
Yeah, I couldn't really think of too many, so I had to look up a list of like what the top trilogies were. And
Okay.
really the only one that came on that showed up on there that I have rewatched multiple times and was the first one I thought of is The Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I think it's got to be that. Like I know it's the boring answer, but it's like you can't beat it to me.
no. Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings was huge, right? The movies are huge, the books are huge. Uh, yeah, people. I mean, you got Daniel G. Frisky Hobbit naming his magic name after them. Yeah, those are great movies. I have one of my best friends watches them every year, like on New Year's. It's like his yearly tradition is he watches the extended cut every year.
Was
Yeah,
the Bourne series a trilogy?
It was, yeah.
Okay, I've seen that probably a dozen times from
those
my
are good.
grandparents. So
You know what? I didn't have an answer, but I'll give one right now because I was just thinking about it. I love the Ocean's movies. Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13. They're a very big guilty pleasure for me. I watch them a few times a year, probably. I love the Ocean's movies.
nice.
Another one that's just come to mind, like it probably doesn't count as a trilogy because it's part of a larger set, but the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy,
Yeah,
Guardians 1, 2, and 3 were really good.
Yeah.
great answers. Great answers, everybody. All right, our last question for today comes from Joaquin E. Diabolic Machine. And his question is, if the three of you were a D&D party, what would your characters be? Great question. Emmett, what's your class?
Ooh, okay. Do you have a strong idea to lead off, Miranda? I'll pass to Miranda if she's locked in.
Sure.
I'm always ready with this answer. I have and always will be the bard.
Ooh, great.
I can be magic focused, I can be weapon focused, or I can be support focused, whatever we need to be, but I am going to be a bard. And I do think that is applicable to our trios of I think I do a very good job as a supporting member when other people are playing. Of I think I do a very good job keeping everyone focused, noticing small things on the board you and like interactions you might not notice when you're dialed in on just the main board state. And I'm a big cheerleader. I definitely hype everybody up and really, praise everybody. Don't beat yourself up if you lose, sort of support.
I love it. It's great. Yeah, every party needs a bard. That's it's a class that's good to have. Before we get back to Emmett, how about you, Eric? Do you have a locked and loaded D&D class that you would love to be?
Well, it would actually be my first D&D campaign, so I would be the new guy that has no idea what's going on and relies on my teammates to tell me.
So you're gonna be our warrior.
And I figured what that meant would be that I would be the one that you guys send in first that triggers all the traps, just kind of like we're doing with League right now. You guys get me to play all my games first. You give me the aggro deck.
And you're hard carrying with the
and you guys
best
just
core.
hang back and see what happens.
Oh, well, that's great. That's a great answer. Hey, someone's got to go first, Eric. Someone has to lead the way.
Yeah, and I trust these guys. Like they wouldn't put me in danger, would they?
Never. Yeah. If so, I'll heal you.
Yeah, exactly. If we do, it's gonna be fun. Emmett, anything come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, Wayne and I huge fans of D&D content, and we've played in like one shots and things.
Sure.
I was in a campaign in college that, we met. We were trying to meet once a week, and realistically, I think we met maybe 6 or 8 times total across a whole semester.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but maybe just a classic paladin, a little bit going on as far as like spells and interesting things to do outside of combat, but just very straightforward and steadfast.
Very noble of you to be the paladin. Very what is it like? Very good alignment of you, Emmett. Such a good guy.
And if you're wondering, my phone background is often true neutral, couldn't care less.
I always say it's every character I make in D&D. It's always like I don't know. It's some kind of neutral. I'm not good. I'm not bad. I don't know.
So, some men are born neutral. Some men become neutral through great effort, and some have neutrality thrust upon them.
With great neutrality comes great man. Well, thank you all so much for coming on the show, the Lakers. I really appreciate it. I know you've all been on the show before, but I love having you on, and you're doing great. I love bringing people on when they're having a good league. I'm rooting for you all to get your first league win and to have a good league the rest of the way. So keep doing what you're doing, keep getting wins, and go strong and get that mega draft. Take it home, guys. I really am. I'm rooting for you.
We got a championship to win.
Yeah, you do. Team ones are big ones. They're fun. They're fun ones to win. I'll tell you. They're winning with friends. Don't get much better than that. Someone to share it with, and you guys will always have that. Remember that time we all got together and through thick and thin, we play tested. We put in the work, and it paid off.
We took some bad pools, and we got some good wins with them.
Right? Yeah. Like that's what it's all about. And you're doing it together, and like that's what makes team leagues fun is doing it with your friends.
Yeah, I was super proud of our pool splits the first 2 weeks, like what we ended up settling on. And I think we'll take a little more of a gamble week 3. We'll go in monocolored for one of the decks, so we can go, full fat from 2 colors for the other 2 decks.
Nice. I wanted to do a monocolor deck all league, and we just we were pretty close in week 1. We had a deck that had it was mono red with 4 black cards or something, just because
That's about what we ended up with is mono red with just a bit of white.
Yeah, the tiniest flash, but it's I really wanted to try and make a monocolor deck work, and it just never happened. But the mana base in one of those, it's just so sweet. You never get color screwed. It's so good. All right, guys. Well, if you make the mega draft, and it's a good chance you do, but if you do, I wish you luck. I don't want to talk about strategy for it because I'm sure there is some kind of strategy, and I hope you guys
I don't want to
figure it out.
Start looking into it until we're closer to being locked, but certainly we'll do a lot of research and play testing.
I wonder, do you guys have any idea what is locking in this league? Because everyone seems to be around like 10 or something,
When doing the deck split, we did look at the prediction tracker, which I'm sure is off based off like
Yeah,
some
sure.
people aren't gonna play this week.
Especially with how high the elimination threshold is, I think the number of actual games is going to be a lot lower than the estimate.
But
Ooh,
based
yeah.
on the prediction model, we need at least 4 and like 5 wins would lock us.
6 would be totally locked.
Yeah.
But realistically, I think we're aiming for 4 to 6 more wins. So not too high of a demand on us, thanks to a good week 1 and 2.
We just need to do a bit better than even.
All right. Well, hey.
The goal was 2 wins with both of their decks and just 1 win with my mono red deck.
Well, I'm wishing you good luck this week. I hope you get there. I hope you get it. Sounds like you guys have a good idea of what you're shooting for. So go out there and get those wins. And like I said, make that mega draft. I'll be rooting for you guys the whole way.
Thank you. Doing
Thanks,
our
Jim.
best.
We want it. We want it bad.
We do. We really want it. We've been trying. We've been
go.
working great as a team. I've been very, very happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, go out there and get it. And I'll be there to watch your mega draft, and I'll be rooting for you guys the whole way.
Thank
you.
Again, I love talking to all these people. They've all been on the show before. Super smart people, very great Magic players. Eric, hot off his cons, top 8. Miranda top 8s all the time. Emmett top 8s all the time. Emmett did want to add, after the interview, he sent me a little message that I thought was pretty interesting. He said, one interesting tactic we didn't think to bring up. We saved a game on Miranda's deck in week 1, and it went well. And debated doing the same thing with his deck in week 2, but they were all a little too busy, so they just ended up playing out their games. But because they were able to save a game on Miranda's deck in week 1, that allowed her playing the strongest deck in week 2 with that extra game to go 3-1. So they did use a little bit of the strategy of the underplay, underplay with a maybe not so great deck to kind of give a better deck a shot in the next week. People are still doing that. There is strategy here. I don't know how you guys managed it, but like the strategy of splitting pools, like knowing like who had packs and who gets the fixing and not. Like it was all really interesting and really neat. I liked the deck building here a lot. And again, I really liked the re-rolls every week. I think those would be much better if you're not building 3 decks. Like it was time consuming, but I don't know. Again, I liked all the mechanics. I think everything worked out really well. Team, the triple threat, just did not. We were not a threat. We were barely a triple. But we came and we saw, and you can't win them all. This was a don't win them all kind of league. But again, I'm excited for OTJ. I am excited for OTJ Outlaws at Thunder Junction. Outlaws at Thunder Junction. Oh man, this is gonna be a tough next 6 weeks for me, isn't it? Saying this name over and over again. But go out there, get your drafts. We know we're a week before we get to do our league. Set just came out. That means get your reps in. Start collecting all those cards so you don't have to waste too many wild cards. Start to know the format. Start to figure out what's working. Is it about having bombs? Is it about having removal? Do you just want to not be playing white? I don't know. There's a lot of hot takes out there, and I'm going to give it a little bit of time before I figure out what I want to be promoting on the show. But get out there in the servers, in the league. Be open, be honest, start talking to people, stream a draft, stream a sealed. Get on Magic. Someone stream some Magic Online, right? I saw some cool cube stuff was up. I know Wesley C., the great Snowcat, posted a gross-looking Elves deck, Jumpstart or something. I don't know what it is, but share your Magic stuff. Share your wins. Did you open anything really cool at pre-release? I want to see it. I want to see your expensive cards. Who's going to open an Oko? I cannot wait to open like 3 Okos. That's my dream. Starting pool, 2 Okos. And then first loss, another Oko. It's going to happen. Watch. I'm calling my shot right now. But yeah, pools are being rolled. Next week for our new OTJ League, we're going to be having a mega draft soon for the winners of the Chaos 3 League. There's a lot of great Magic going on right now. A great time to be in the server. A great time to be around your friends. Go out there and make some. And let's get some more side events going. I love these side events. They're so cool. I feel like, my team league's not doing great. Looking forward to playing out my Roto games, right? Like, that's my next thing. I'm super excited to start getting my Roto games in and see what this new set is all about because I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm into it. It's early. It's the honeymoon period, right? Like, oh, this set, these cards, these rares. Am I getting run over by aggro? Am I going real late? I don't know, but we're going to figure it all out together. And until we do, I hope you get to keep a good 7. That's what it's all about. I mean, sometimes you have to take a tough mulligan, so don't keep a bad 7. That's the moral here. Don't keep a bad 7. Mulligan if you have to, but try to keep a good 7. And you got to hope that shuffler is in your favor, because if you don't draw that removal spell for that Jasper that your opponent has on the other side of the board, oh boy, is it going to be a bad time for you. It really is. Keep a good 7. Have the top of your deck, the shuffler, be helping you out. And I'll see everyone here next week as we kick off Outlaws at Thunder Junction League. Bye, everybody. So no one thought your deck was gonna play this way. You can't draw any lands, you're losing right away. It's like you're always playing aggro decks, and you don't know when to block or chomp or swing. What the heck? Well, I'll be there for you when you go 1 and 4. I'll be there for you when you queue into Jordan. I'll be there for you, 'cause you're there for me too.